All right, we're gonna get rolling here. It's 1:33. I'll try to keep it on the screen. Make sure we get everyone in that wants to come in addition to who is already here.
Yeah.
Fawna's here from America Preferred, and she's going to talk a little bit about warranties. I wanted to give her the floor for PC since we have kind of a built-in audience, so that she has an opportunity to touch everybody with information that she has, especially newer agents. And I think it's important to have this information. It can be utilized in several different ways throughout the sale process, especially as a buyer, as a negotiating tool. So make sure that you get as much information on these types of warranties as you can. And I know Fawna's great at it. She's going to make sure she has her contact information. And we're going to make sure you guys have whatever questions you have, we get them answered for you. If you have questions out there in the interest space, make sure you throw them in the chat. We'll get them answered for you, and I'm going to turn the floor over to you. Okay, we'll turn the music off, and then we'll turn the floor over to you. There we go.
So, all right, so we have two new people. Andy, because I've never met Andy, and then your name?
Jayla.
Jayla, nice to meet you. I thank you.
She's like,
I know.
yeah, we know you.
What are you gonna pay bills? Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right, well, I'm Fawna Farrell's America's Preferred Home Warranty. I've been with America's Preferred for 4 years now, and our company is now one of your platinum providers for home warranties. So all of our stuff is Keller Williams logoed. It's actually at the top of the steps. There's some more warranties up there, but I brought a couple in here just to kind of go over with you guys. So with you guys being newer agents, I do not want to bombard you because I know you're trying to drink from a fire hose, right? So I guess my main thing I want to say to you is, with me, you know, all home warranties are very similar. They're all going to give you coverage, right? I'm not trying to sell you the warranty. I'm trying to sell you that I'm a business partner. So you're going to get coverage from other home warranties. I know there's a couple out there, HSA and home warranty. Everybody's going to cover, you know, your plumbing, your electric, heating, cooling, all that good stuff. But the main thing with us is that we do not want to be looked at as a vendor, right? So we want to be looked at as a business partner. So when you know, your back's against the wall, you know who you're going to call. Whether it's a claims issue, they're not getting enough coverage and they're calling you, the agent, and they're saying, you know, my buyer's calling me and they're saying that you only covered X amount of dollars. And, you know, I put this warranty on hoping that it would give them coverage, and now they're upset with me. My job in that situation is to back you up and make you look like a hero. And the ways that I do that is I'm able to write concessions, give more approvals, kind of go over the claim with you, to maybe better explain it to them. But more than anything at the beginning, being a newer agent, is how do you present warranties? So it's, with all this other stuff that you're learning, this is a big part of your business that you can't leave out. It's really important that you don't leave it out because it can come back and bite you in the butt. And during the pandemic, that seemed to happen to a lot of agents. They were using how people are waiving inspections and overpaying, all that kind of stuff. They were using that as an excuse. Well, we don't want to lose the deal because we don't want to ask for anything else. Well, with a warranty, you're really not asking for anything. You're just making sure that the buyer is getting what they need when they move in, which is protection. That's what a warranty is for. Home insurance is different. A warranty is going to cover, I use the acronym PEACH. So it's plumbing, electric, appliances, cooling, heating, if you want to write that down. That's what the home warranty is going to be used for, is those kind of things. Now, when you're presenting the warranty to a seller, there's two different things. So on the seller side, you're going to be presenting a warranty for them to be covered through inspection. So what you'd say to your seller is, hey, listen, let's list your home for sale. Let's put a warranty on it, include it, that it comes with a home warranty, and here's why. They're going to sell the house faster, more money. We always say that. And the other thing is, they're going to have protection. So any of the covered items that come up on the listing side, the coverable items are on the very last, second to last page, at the bottom. This is your listing coverage. Okay. So these things are complimentary, and what it means is if you have your sellers agree to put a warranty on at the beginning of the transaction, so they're going to advertise it that it comes with a warranty. then they're gonna be covered. These are the things they get for free. If they want plumbing, heating and cooling covered, they pay $75, not due till closing. That's the next bracket over. And then the very top here is called List Secure. List Secure is a legal protection that we offer. It's $1,000. Covers your sellers up to 2 years post sale. Okay, so that's what the listing protection does. One of the big things I would have you definitely take a note of is when you are talking to your sellers about putting the warranty on, the big thing right now is have them just put it into the sales price. Because you don't want your sellers to be like, oh, I want to put a warranty on, I don't want to pay for anything else. Well, they don't really aren't going to be paying for it anyway, because most of the time they're going to be getting either asking, if not more, build it right into the price. Our warranties are $425. This is for your basic warranty. So for $425, you know, why not? That's kind of like how we look at it. It's a no-brainer. When you're listing homes, they always should come with a home warranty. That's just how we look at it, because you're protecting everybody. You're protecting the seller, you're protecting you, the agent, guys, E&O coverage. I won't dig into that too much because I don't want to overwhelm you, but the E&O coverage is very important. If you're ever being sued, you'd have to pay that deductible. Well, we actually pay it for you up to 75%. So we're going to pay up to $3,750 on an E&O claim, errors and omissions. I don't know if they've gone into all that.
Yeah, I mean, just anytime that there is a discrepancy in a transaction that requires, the penalty will include damages of some kind. It's litigated and then, handed down, which we're gonna get a full dose of litigation. Everyone's, you're in your broker's classes, so you're getting ready to dive into a lot of that, I'm sure. So hopefully you never have to learn the ins and outs of the E&O.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
The one thing to know with us about the E&O part is that in the back of your mind, you need to say, I need to have a warranty on every deal, because I know if I do, I won't have to pay my deductible, right? So that's one thing. So when I say bulletproofing the transaction, putting the warranty on each and every time, it's going to give you that protection. It's going to give your sellers protection. If you're representing the buyer, it's going to give them obviously protection. Now, if you're representing a buyer, it used to be where if you were an agent, you would say to your buyer, well, we're going to ask the seller to pay for the home warranty. Well, not anymore. So now what you're going to do is you're going to ask the buyer to pay for their own home warranty, and you're going to explain to them why it's important for them to have a warranty. Well, the main thing is in the first 6 months, I think it's 60% of people have a claims issue in the first 6 months. So if they have a warranty, they have peace of mind that, okay, I just overpaid for this house. I have no money left over for buying the house, and now I have to worry about if my furnace or my air conditioner or I have a plumbing leak or whatever. If they have the warranty, they have the peace of mind that those things at least have some coverage. Talking warranty, I talk a little bit different than probably your other reps will. I like to use the word offset costs because I want to under promise and over deliver. So when you talk to your clients and you say the warranty is going to give you peace of mind, the warranty is going to help you offset costs. It's going to give you dollars towards replacement, dollars towards repair, but the warranty is not meant to like be the answer to everything. It's just like when you buy a used car, you get an extended warranty. This is like an extended warranty. If you buy a brand new car, you get bumper to bumper. Well, you're buying a used house, right? So you're going to get just a basic warranty. It's going to give some coverage. And that's kind of how you would explain it to your homeowners, because you don't want them saying, well, you told me to get that warranty and I got it. Now it doesn't want to pay for me to get a brand new furnace put in. That's not the warranty, what it's meant to do.
Well, it's transferable from buyer to seller.
Correct. Yeah. Yep.
That is correct. Yeah, Karen.
Yep. So Karen, what happens is when the seller agrees to purchase a warranty for their potential buyer, they get the coverage from the day they list until the day they close. And that's what seller's coverage is. So yes, it transfers over.
Can I comment here too? I think it's really important to note that if you're the buyer's agent and you are asking for a warranty on the agreement, that you specify the company.
Yes.
Because those sellers agents aren't always, they're going to use their preferred or whoever. So you want to put America's Preferred. You do not want to just leave 1 year warranty or whatever. You want to be specific.
And you can even say in there that up to the dollar amount with that.
100%. That's what I put. I put seller to provide 1 year home warranty, blah, 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 not to exceed $680 or whatever the amount is.
I just wrote one of those the other day.
Here's another thing that you want to keep in mind. when you're representing the buyer, if you're having them buy their own warranty, one of the things that's been used lately with the market the way it is and being strategic about your offer is you can actually put into your offer that your buyer is going to be buying their own home warranty. So when you send over your offer to the seller, that sends a signal, and the signal is these buyers are not a threat to me. They're not going to try to get me to repair this and replace that because they already lined up their own home warranty and they're paying for it. So that's really important too. If that was definitely one thing that was like an aha moment for me this year, is that when people were pointing that out, I was like, wait a minute,
I don't know if there's another question
that
there.
makes perfect sense.
Buyer has coverage for 2 years minus time the seller used it.
Okay, so the buyer can do a 2-year plan, but there's no minus the time of use. So the seller has it as long as the listing is active. There's no expiration. It doesn't take anything away from the buyer.
So the actual policy doesn't kick in until
The
the
day of
transaction
closing.
is signed.
Yep, the day of closing is when the buyer
Okay.
starts their coverage.
So,
And there is a 2-year plan. The 2-year plan is $7.99. Okay, so on the back of the warranty is pricing. So the bottom is the listing coverage I told you about. So that's for your seller. And that's where you pick if they want the $50 deductible or if they want a $100 deductible. Okay, so at the very top, it tells you right up here, it's going to tell you like what all we cover. So single family, that's a single family 2-year. Then we do condo, townhome, new construction, then we do multi-units. So those are all the plans that we have.
But if we do like a listing one, that provides protection for the seller for up to 2 years post close, right? Is that what you said?
You're getting confused.
Okay.
Okay, so if you put a warranty on for your seller.
Yep.
And which is agreeing that your seller is going to buy the warranty for their potential buyer, they're paying for it at closing.
Mhm.
They get complimentary coverage for doing that, this stuff right here.
Mhm.
If they want to be upgraded, they pay $75.
Okay.
But in addition to that, the first line item is called List Secure.
Yes,
Your sellers get 2 years of legal protection up to 2 years post-sale.
that's where I was at.
Yep, so that's what they get on the seller side, on your
Okay.
listing. Okay, questions so far? I don't want to overwhelm you. I know you guys are so new. Right, hi, how are you? What's your name? Stacy. Stacy, I'm Fawna, nice to meet you. Thanks for coming. We're just kind of digging into the warranty, and if you have questions, please feel free to ask along the way. All right, so the buyer side, once it transfers over to the buyer on the day of closing, the buyer has it for 12 months if they do the 1-year plan. On the buyer side, all this stuff right here is your basic coverage. So if they pick the basic warranty, 425, 460, you pick your deductible, they get all these items here. If they want to have an upgrade put on, it's $140. I call it the bells and whistles. It's going to give you basically maximum protection. So it's going to cover the Freon, the air conditioner. It's going to cover the ice maker water. It's going to turn the fridge. So the extra add-ons. I highly recommend the buyer's upgrade when you guys are going over this with your buyer, because you don't want them to have basic coverage, because if something goes wrong and they have basic coverage and it's not covered, they're gonna be like, well, why did I even get a warranty? So at least make sure you go over that with them and explain it to them that it's an option to them. They may not want it, but at least your job is done by explaining it. Do you have any questions at all? How new are you? Mary? Do you have any questions when it comes to home warranty? Huh?
Yeah, like you said, some things are covered, like the water here in most cases, if it's something.
So the water heater, but the water heater is covered if it's leaking. There's some certain things about a water heater that could be denied and not have coverage. Like if it has a sediment buildup, if it wasn't well maintained, it could be denied for that. But if it's leaking and it's a normal wear and tear, that's a coverable item. But so here's what I'll tell you to do, because I don't want you getting overwhelmed with the warranties, what it's going to cover, what it's not going to cover. If you go to the second page, it says what is covered. This is really cool because it bolds what we don't cover, and the first paragraph is what we cover. So if you give this to your buyer or seller and say, here's the warranty, take a look, see what it covers, what it doesn't cover. That way they can look it over and they know what their expectations are. We're not giving them false expectations, you know, it's right there, plain and simple. The next thing that we do on page 7 is we actually give you the limitations, which I think is really cool. Because like I told you, all home warranties are going to give you coverage and all home warranties have limitations. We just put ours right in the book. That's the difference. This takes away the responsibility for you as an agent, because your job isn't to know all this stuff. Your job is just to simply recommend the warranty, tell them what the benefit is of having it, and then ordering it for them. Okay. What else was I gonna say? Okay, so ordering the warranty, couple ways you can order it. You can order it online, which is the fastest and easiest way. You go onto our website, aphw.com, which is in the back of the warranty booklet here. At the very top, it says for real estate professionals. You click on that, and then it's going to take you down to our portal, which is called RealPro. You're able to order your warranty within seconds. You're going to create an invoice. That invoice is what you send to the closing company. Okay. So the invoice goes to the closing company. Nothing is due till closing. If the house isn't closed, nobody owes anything. It's a wash. Even if we did a repair for your sellers. So let's just say that scenario happens. So you represent the seller. They had a hot water tank issue. It was needed to be repaired. It was $300. Your client paid the deductible. We gave them $300 to cover the claim. We paid it. We're good. And then the house doesn't sell. So nothing happens. It's a wash. People ask me that all the time. So you mean we don't have to pay them back? No. So that's another reason when you're presenting the warranty on the listing side, it's a no-brainer because there's nothing for them to really lose in it. It's nothing to do for closing.
How often does the brochure change? Because I have it uploaded as a PDF
Yeah.
in .lu
Yeah.
that I will send, for
Yeah.
people to look over. Does it change often? Do I need a new copy? Or should I just?
Do you have this copy, the KW copy?
I'll check.
If I put the KW in, I've been here 4 years. When I first came on 4 years ago, we did a $12 increase. But that wouldn't have affected you because when I came on, I was giving you the new stuff.
Mhm.
So nothing has changed. Now we are talking about doing a price increase because of the way the crazy world is. We're probably gonna be forced to. We don't want to. We're trying to hold pricing, but it's not looking really good. So it may be a $12 to $20 increase. Not a lot.
Yeah.
And if that happens, obviously you guys will find out and I'll bring in new brochures. I'll give you a new PDF.
Okay.
But if you don't have the Keller Williams one, I would just send me an email and I'll send it to you.
Okay. Have you said anything yet about the waiver that like we do require it as far as compliance here? If your client, whether it's buyer or seller, declines to purchase a home warranty, we do ask that the waiver is signed by your client.
It's not
That you
required.
presented it. It's not
It's
required
not
anymore.
required anymore. It's conditional.
Okay.
It's conditional now, but can I speak to that on specifically? So it used to be required. And here's why for me, it's very important to still get that waiver signed. Because I had a listing. And I presented it. And they were like, no, we're good. We don't want it. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I need you to sign this saying that I provided it to you, I told you what it was, and that you are declining it. And there's a waiver
So the
section.
very last page. This is very important.
And I
Pay
had them
attention to what
sign
she's
it.
saying.
I had them sign it and it's uploaded into my command. Then what happened? In December, the furnace broke. They moved out. They have bought a new home. They don't know that the furnace breaks. Guess what happened? The pipes froze and they burst. And I walked into the house to an ice skating rink because the furnace was broken and the pipe burst, burst. And now we've got wall damage. We've got damage out the wazoo. And literally I went into my command and I was like,
Where's that waiver?
please, for the love of all things holy, make sure that is it. Because what had happened if I didn't present that and then Uncle Tom says, you guys could have got listing coverage, and then they're looking at me. Why didn't you tell us this was an option? This could have been prevented. Now I'm liable.
And now we're gonna sue you.
Now you're suing me because
I didn't know this was an option.
I didn't take 37 seconds to explain that they could have been covered.
And anytime that you pitch the warranty, and anytime that when you mention the warranty, you need that waiver. You need the waiver. If they turn it down, you need the
I
waiver.
don't care if
Don't
command says it's conditional.
Don't ever pitch the warranty. Don't ever pitch the warranty
And not get the waiver.
and not get the waiver.
Well, and it's just like they're already signing a million documents. I've heard agents are like, why did we hear about this? And I'm like, I already signed it, fine, thanks. Put
Because
it
you're
in.
liable for everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Shortcut.
That's what I'm-
And I mean,
That's
this sounds like whatever, but it's a legal business,
Yeah.
and when things go sideways, that's one of the things you
Yeah,
don't want happening.
yeah.
But you
Short-
wanna make sure you're covered.
Shortcut, I heard somebody say this last week, shortcuts lead to short careers.
Yeah, honestly, but
Sure.
honestly, because it used to be required that we had to get the waiver signed.
Mhm.
And I will still always do my business as if it's required, because then I know that I'm protected.
Yeah.
And nobody can say, like, I came from a different area before real estate, and if it's not in writing, it didn't happen.
Mhm.
And so if I didn't document that I offered it to you and you declined it,
Mhm.
it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I'm liable,
Yeah.
and that is not where I wanna be.
And you can do it however you want. I mean, some people will do it electronically. Some people like paper. I'm a paper person. I like to let people touch and feel things. All this stuff is free to you. You can have it shipped to your home. It's stocked here in the back at the top of the steps to the left there on that, I don't even know what that is. Is it a
It's our
It's a shredder.
mailboxes.
It's a
Mail
Oh,
center,
yeah.
mail center? Okay. It's on top of there. Grab a couple, keep them in your folder, your purse or whatever, so that way when you do go over them with them, you can leave it with the client. And then if they do decline it, you can literally rip this off. It's perforated. You rip it off and keep it.
Karen, I'll bring some to Johnstown Thursday.
And I'm coming now to that.
You are?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet, never mind.
How about that meeting on Thursday? I was waiting. I felt this is a long story. I'll try to sum it up. I had to reschedule. I was here the day that I was going. Remember I was going to see my friend with cancer?
Yes.
Okay, so I moved a meeting with this guy named Zach. He's a brand new agent somewhere else. And I moved the meeting with him. I felt so bad because it was in person. I rescheduled it for this Thursday. And then they want me to come out to Johnstown instead of having to go all the way out to Altoona. And I'm like, I feel so bad because I just rescheduled with Zach after I already canceled on him once. So I waited all Easter break, just waiting. How am I gonna tell this poor guy that I felt so bad and say, can I cancel again? How about he emailed me this morning and said, can I reschedule? I was like, yes.
Yes. You're like,
And
That's how you know the day's gonna go
Oh,
well.
that's, but here's the best part. I already told your office that I would come.
Mhm.
And I was like, I'll just figure it out. I'll figure something out. And then all of a sudden it figured itself out. So,
Love
Good.
that.
yeah.
Well, anytime we can get these, and anytime you have extras, and I'll grab some too to take back down to. A lot of people might think that this is a throwaway, okay? And the reason why is because we've been in a seller's market, right? So there really hasn't been time to sit and think about how we can enhance or ways that we need to leverage, adding value to a seller's or to a listing presentation. Those days are gonna be winding down really fast.
Yeah.
So at some point in the next 18 months, probably, we should be doing this already, but this is gonna be an added value. It's gonna be an added value, and it's gonna be necessary. We might have gotten lazy, we've talked lazy agents, we talked to lazy agents last week and shift book club. Part of that is we get lazy on what we have available to us to add value to our listings. And this is one of those, this is probably the biggest one, right? I mean, this is a good way to add sustainable value to a property. I have a deal going right now that would not buy this, they would not buy the property without a warranty. I haven't been living in 2 years. House hasn't been living in 2 years. So they wanted a warranty. And so we put it in the offer and the seller didn't even blink an eye at it.
Yeah.
Took it. So things are starting to shift in a literal sense. And if you're out there getting listings, make this part of your repertoire. There's no reason why you shouldn't be using this as an added value, in my opinion.
Now, what happened when these agents were lazy and didn't put the warranty on? I think I mentioned to you that a lot of those buyers had shopper's remorse.
Yep.
And what that does to your referral is it really puts it in jeopardy because they feel like it's your job to be knowledgeable and bring all the value. And it's your job to know all the things that you're supposed to present to them. And this is a part of that. And for the agents that didn't present warranty and those people bought those homes and they just paid $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 over asking and they didn't get a home warranty and now something is wrong and they have no coverage, it's ludicrous. So that agent is not going to get a phone call in 7-10 years when that person's ready to buy again because they're going to be like, that agent didn't know what they were talking about. They should have had them get a warranty because then I didn't have any protection. And that's unfortunately how it works. You have to be a jack of all trades with your real estate agent.
in a pocket.
Just remember the last time the warranties were it was not easy to correlate. So the warranties were big when, last time we were in a buyer's market. Last time we were in a buyer's market was when we saw home warranties was the shtick. These guys across the street used it as a shtick for 5 years. So, I mean, home warranty
I was
included.
I was paying warranties on those last spring.
Were you?
Yeah.
Because you're not a lazy agent?
Well, it would just depend, you know, if I call the agent and I find out there's not multiple offers, I'm asking for it.
Absolutely.
If not, if I'm
That's-
trying
yeah.
to hone in on the value or whatever, I'm still having that substantive conversation with my client, whichever side it is. But I'm not going to put it on there as a cost to the seller if I'm bringing the buyer, if there's
Right.
multiple offers.
Right.
But yeah, if there's no traffic on a listing and we're making an offer,
And the other thing you can do as an agent is if it's a property with some high value to it, you can also pay for it for them. A couple things you can do. You can just straight up buy them the warranty, the cheapest one, $425, or you can say, hey, if you want to get the warranty, I'll pay for your upgrade. It's $140. That's another clever way to really get the buyer, you know, taken care of, and they will thank you. If they use the warranty, which 99% of them will, when they use it, they're going to think of you.
Or something.
that's a
Yeah.
concierge service you can tack onto a luxury listing, like for a high listing.
Yeah.
100%.
Questions? Any questions? Any come to you yet?
I also just want to plug Fawna's, they do multi-unit ones. And we talked about this last
Yeah.
time. I requested one on a 4-unit, and the listing agent who's, you know, been in the business forever was like, I have never heard of a warranty on a 4-unit multi-unit. And I was
Why
like,
not? There's like
Just
you
what?
know, like,
Just
four
what?
refrigerators, 4 ovens.
one
Yeah.
smart
Like,
number. And I was like, and so I sent her the thing, and I was like, read it.
Yeah.
Is there 4-unit? And she was like, I can't believe the cost of it either. And I was like, yeah, we want it, you know? So, you know, multi-units too, like got it on my floor, so.
Awesome. Whenever you guys, I know you're not gonna have a lot of downtime with, you know, all the stuff that you're learning, but when you have a second, just look over the warranty yourself. So that way, you know, you do feel pretty confident when you go to present it for the first, second, third time. Cause you might feel a little bit nervous, you know, it's a little bit out of your realm maybe, but if you just look it over a little bit, it's pretty simple. Like I said, you're just selling peace of mind. You can even say that to the person. Hey, I don't know a lot about home warranties, but what I do know is this warranty will help you offset costs. It'll help you. You can pick your own contractor. That's the biggest thing about us. You get to pick whoever they want to do the work as long as they're licensed. That's a big selling point that you want to tell them. What else? Yeah, simple. Just keep it simple.
So here's what I want you to do for next week, for next Tuesday. If you don't have this yet, I'll get these to you, but by next Tuesday, I want you to look this over and I want you to pitch this. We're gonna pitch it next week.
Yeah,
That's fun. I think it's good.
We're gonna pitch it next week in class. So in discussion, we're gonna go around and we're gonna pitch it from the buyer side, we're gonna pitch it from the listing side. Okay? Because we're gonna be getting into a time in this market where adding value is gonna be important. Jennifer said already, if she's running into an offer or a situation where there's not multiple offers, she's leveraging this already. That's happening. It's starting to happen. Like we're seeing less and less multiple offers on properties. Guys, we're there. It's happening. Like we are shifting. So this is going to be important. And look, protect your buyers. Interest rates are going up. Housing prices are going up. This is a surefire way to make sure that with those prices going up, and this isn't going up yet, but it will, because everything is. Inflation's on the rise. It's just going to happen. Get your buyers on these now, because it's gonna help ensure and secure, you know, what they're purchasing. Their home is going to be the biggest purchase they make, and it's going to have a little added percentage point or two to it as well over the years. With regards to the age of the mortgage and the interest rates. So make sure they're protected, you know, 2 years, right?
Yep, up to 2 years post sale on the seller side.
Yeah, so, I mean, look this over and let's talk about pitching it next week as an added value for both sides. So pick one side or pick both, practice both if you want, and then we'll get into a discussion next week on how to approach it and pitch it. Okay? All good?
Thanks, Fawna.
Any last second questions for Fawna? No?
I will say to everyone that's watching, and then you guys here, you guys have my business card. I'm here to help you. I'm here to support you. Remember, I talked at the beginning of the meeting that I'm a business partner. So if you ever just want to set up a one-on-one with me, whether it's Zoom or over the phone or grabbing a cup of coffee, I'm here for you. I'm here to help you. If you need help pitching, if you need help ordering, whatever it is, my cell phone's right on there. I'm here to help you. So make sure you reach out to me. I can't help you unless I know you need it. Okay? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Fawn.
Fawn.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your new adventure.
So we wanted to make sure that I wanted to make sure we had something, I wanted to get a good audience for Fawna to have, collective audience. But it also fits with what we're gonna talk about in the next coming weeks. And that's lead generation. You see I have my Gary Keller outfit on today.
You do.
Yeah, t-shirt, sport coat, but I had the turn it up t-shirt, turn it up. Do you remember the turn it up?
No.
Okay, turn it up is turn up your lead gen.
Oh.
Right, double and triple down on your lead gen. I didn't know if you remembered that or not. They said this is like one of their best sellers. I don't know, whatever. I was a honk. I spent over $300 on swag last week.
Yeah.
Don't tell my wife that.
I believe that.
I was such a honk
Your
for it.
your son's on here.
I know, but he won't tell her. It was good though.
You don't know that.
Yeah, well, you got one, so you got socks and a shirt. They have a really cool shirt. Real estate is a contact business, or real estate is a contact
Contact
sport.
sport, yeah.
Love that shirt. Love it.
Love it.
Love it. Precursor. So we're gonna be talking lead gen, and I think this is a good thing to start considering putting in your repertoire as far as what's gonna separate you from the crowd. Okay. And it doesn't hurt. What does it hurt to make sure that you're using this as a tool to add value to what you're offering? So that was another reason I wanted to join us today. Thank you
Thank
for your
you.
time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah. And we'll see you Thursday.
Thursday,
All right, sweet.
All right.
Be safe. All right, so lead gen. Josh Blakeney is on, he's on Zoom with us. You with us, Josh?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, cool. Josh and I had a one-on-one earlier. Are you ready or do you need a second to get gathered?
I'm good. I'm good.
Cool. I'm gonna put Josh on center stage here. We were talking one-on-one, and Josh is on his own now. He was on a team. He's going on his own, and he has started some lead gen. And I want Josh to talk about his latest lead gen tool that he's using. Go ahead, Josh.
Okay. Thank you. What I did this past week was I got a magnetic business card. It's a little bit bigger than a regular business card, but it's about the size of a tablet. And I bought a vending machine, and I'm going to put that business card on the side of the vending machine, and it's at a veterinary hospital in Robinson.
Got that? He bought a vending machine, so now he's got side money, right? He bought a vending machine at a veterinary hospital, built-in audience, and he went on Vistaprint. How much did that cost you, Josh? That, not the vending machine, the magnet.
$20.
$20. $20. And you can get them in all sizes. They can go on your car, they can go on whatever. I added to his.
$20, and it was 2 for $30. Like the more you buy, the less they cost. Something like that. I just got one to start out. I think I might get a few more. One for my car. I want to get a few more vending machines just to have, I kind of want the same area, but I was thinking maybe have them somewhere else, just to have the actual magnet on different locations.
And remember, we talked earlier, remember what I suggested to you? How do we track whether or not it's working? What are you going to get in addition to the magnet?
Oh, yeah. The card holder that have a few cards on site alongside of having, just the information there, card they can take with them to see. Because I'm probably going to try to refill them every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, something like that. And I'll see if the cards are been taken or not.
I would also recommend to you, like nowadays with COVID, we all go into restaurants and we're scanning the QR code for the menu. I would put a QR code with a landing page so that if somebody just quickly wants to pull up your information and contact information, they can do it on their phone.
Yeah, I'll probably do that. That sounds like a good idea.
Your next batch of business cards, I would definitely consider a QR code on it.
The QR code could go on your magnet.
Yep.
Easily, like they would be able to put that on.
Yeah. They're easy. You just, if you Google QR code generator, they're easy to build now. So yeah, that's going even further than what I even thought of that. That's good. So if you do more magnets and more vending machines, I would definitely put on the
Also,
magnet.
the QR codes are trackable.
Yep.
Usually, depending upon where you get the code, be able to see, okay, maybe put a different QR code on each one of your vending machines, so you know which one of those machines is getting you the most traffic, the most clicks, the most scans of that QR code. You may decide to move that vending machine into that another location based on the data that you're getting.
Yep.
So I would encourage you to have separate codes, so you can
Okay.
track that.
That's not hard to do. That's not hard to do. You can utilize and leverage the agent website, which we have.
Yeah.
You can get a $10 website through Vistaprint, which gives you trackable data there as well. I think it's $10 a month. You can get a website with like multiple pages.
You can embed in certain QR codes, you can embed a bit.ly link.
Yep.
Bit.ly will also tell you
Track
exactly
your
where
stuff.
that's coming from.
Yep.
You could say that that code is coming from this Altoona hospital, and this one's coming from this location at like a laundromat, for example, or, you know, something like that. So
Yep.
yeah, Bit.ly is a good option as well.
So there's different ways you can track that data. But I just wanted Josh to share that because Josh is still relatively new at the game. And I got excited hearing him talk about this out of the box idea for a little bit of side hustle and a great opportunity to get himself out there to a concentrated audience. I mean, that's thinking outside the box. That's the level of outside of the box thinking that's going to keep him surviving and then thriving through the shift. So I wanted to take that piece of it and then go around the room and share some other ideas of, you know, lead gen or outside the box lead gen that you're trying or have thought about and need a little support with. Questions on what would work, what wouldn't work. I just want to get a feel and get everybody warmed up because this Thursday at 4 here, Joe's coming in to host a workshop for lead gen. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to send you guys into that workshop with strategies in mind, you know, game planning, and really let's walk out of that workshop on Thursday with some sustainable, producible game plans. Okay, so get your mind starting now and thinking. So let's go around the room and offer up. You've been doing this. What's worked for you? What hasn't?
Well, I'm not your typical KW agent, so I'll just be transparent there. My business is 100% referral. However, I've built a Google business site that puts me high in the algorithm. So if a Keller Williams agent in Florida or San Francisco Googles Keller Williams Pittsburgh, I come up. And so last year, I think it was like 38% of my business was outside referrals. So I get a lot, that's one of my funnels. So Gary and other KW folks talk about having your lead gen be a 3-legged stool. So you're not just having one funnel into your business, it has to be stable. So you want to have at least 3, and you don't want to over diversify where you're not able to focus. So 3 is the golden number. So outside referrals is one of my big inputs. I also just organically, I'm in 2 women's groups. One is a garden club that I love, and another one is a fundraising nonprofit that all the women put together $100 per quarter, and then we donate each quarter that money to a local nonprofit. So that's just kind of like a connector, if you will, to other women that are kind of in my price range, my economic range as well as my location. So so that's 2. 3 has been kind of, I don't know, maybe like take the floor here.
No,
3
no.
has been like the American Lifestyle magazine. That has been like a passive way for me to strategically provide that magazine to people in my sphere. And then I strategically decide personally, is this new client that I just closed going to find value in this, or are they likely to be like a potential rock star referral to me? And I have like 2 people that get my magazine quarterly that regularly give me at least 2 transactions a year. So it pays for itself. I mean, it's kind of tough when you're first starting. And I do teach a lot that you're opening a business, you need to have capital if you can to invest in your business. You're not like a restaurant that just randomly opened and said, hey, I got food over here. You know, like you are a business. Allie and I have been talking about pooling our resources together and utilizing a system that mines data in our farm that Joe was fussing at us about. Look at him
So
jumping around.
excited.
He's
Oh
so
my
excited.
God.
So excited.
So-
Oh, my God.
So we're pulling our resources and
This is so
also,
good.
this is probably, so close your ears, Dad, close your ears. I'm just not like a cold caller. That's just not my vibe.
Guess who said the same thing the other day?
Gary Keller.
Gary Keller.
Okay. However,
He did.
I
like
know.
my way of doing things is probably more passive. Does it take longer to build? Maybe yes, maybe no. It depends on how it's done. So Allie and I are doing like like an intro call this week with the company that, you know, mines the data. They have over 200 data points. We want to give them specific zip codes that will then, they then generate like a handwritten note for you and they do the mailings for you. For she and I, to leverage our time, like I'm already really busy. I just don't have the time to be me personally. I don't want the time. I just don't. Okay. So we are, you know, having that call to just kind of see how are they mining that data? How accurate is it? How are they tracking that? And then, you know, what does that look like for us? So, you know, it was a monthly fee that seemed kind of pricey for me just to take on. And so we're going to split it together and split the leads. And honestly, you didn't stop dancing.
I know he-
I'm just so pumped because
So
everything
happy
that
right
you're
now.
saying, like, I don't want to stop your group, but we had American, the Homestyle magazine.
Yeah.
Lifestyle magazine. I had them double booked for today. So they were going to come in today.
Yeah.
So I had moved that to a later date, but they're going to be coming in to pitch their product. It's a good product. It
Yeah.
works in State
It's a
College
beautiful.
like crazy.
Yeah.
So I wanted them to come in and so they're gonna be coming in, talk about that. If you don't have a Google business page, you should get one and start pumping it. Because hers comes up, she's not kidding. When I, the first time that I was like, I typed in Google Keller Williams Pittsburgh. That's it. She was the first one.
Yeah.
It said Keller Williams Pittsburgh, Jennifer Burns, agent. And I'm like, well, I don't need to call her.
I know.
Like, I need to call the office.
No,
Then you asked me, how'd you do that?
Yeah, it's great though, because that, if you get in there now, create a business page for yourself. Google will send you analytics. They will keep you up to speed on search engine optimization options for you. You can buy them if you want, or we can eventually show you how to do it. There's certain ways to do it. There are companies out there that help you with optimization, that can help you with that page and like a website or a link to optimize it, make it more aggressive and get more, you know, get more spins on Facebook or whatever placement, wherever you place ads. Bless you.
Bless you.
But no, Gary did say last week, he hates cold calling, right? We said, you started this by saying, I'm not the typical Keller Williams agent. Well, last week, we had, there was ahas happening all over the place. I mean, it was like a fireworks display of ahas. And one of the bigger takeaways that I had from mega camp leadership camp was that the thing about Keller Williams is it's not typical. The last time the market shifted, Keller Williams was the brokerage, was the agency that came out of that thriving because they broke the mold during the shift, because they moved when others wouldn't, right? While Century 21 and Remaxes of the world were standing still, Keller Williams was shifting. Well, lead generation, the guy that used to be Mr. Generate Your Own Leads is now wanting us to lead gen in a specific way. And there's some really, really neat stuff coming on the horizon that's going to help us. Some of what you were talking about with data mining and things of that nature, they're all coming. It's all coming. I mean, technology is advancing at such a rapid pace that we're the technology company who just happens to sell real estate. Well, if we're going to keep up, we need to make the shift. And Gary is making the shift. So there's some really, really exciting products and really exciting mindsets coming up to help us be more effective in lead gen. And data mining is part of that. So I'm not going to expand too much on it. I'm going to leave some of that for our fearless leader to get into later, because I know he's as pumped about it as I am. It's just an exciting time, even with all the quote unquote doom and gloom of rising interest rates with rising inflation and rising housing prices. We have to maintain the perspective. We still have a job to do. There are still houses. Listen, I don't care what happens in the market. Somebody still has to sell houses. That's not going to change. It might as well be us, right? It has to be us. We're the leaders in the clubhouse. Let's be the leaders coming out of it and take the time to learn every little nuance, every little advantage, every little nook and cranny that you can get into to separate yourself from the pack. Start utilizing it. And that's what we're going to be focusing on and talking about. I love that what did you say? The
Three-legged stool.
Three-legged stool. I love it. What was it? You had Google page?
For me, it's Outside Referrals, Google page, and the American Lifestyle. I'm also like a card writer, and I'll send like little texts and just saying, oh my gosh, I just drove by and saw your pretty garden. I can't believe we just closed a year ago. How are you guys doing? Like, that's just my vibe.
Yeah.
And it's just organically grown.
Yeah. And what other leverage, what other tools we talked about Allie talked about it last week. There's another tool out there that we can use.
RPR,
RPR.
use it.
Use RPR. We're going to talk reverse prospecting. You can utilize the information that's available at the county courthouses, the county websites. For those of you on the interspace, Courthouse Online is one of them, and I know Blair County reports to Courthouse Online, where you can become a mayor of your area. Become a mayor of an area. You've heard me drop that before. Pick an area, whether it's a district or it's a mailing district or however you want to cut the area up, but make it specific and make it intentional. That you're going to go in and you're going to farm the living daylights out of that specific area, right? You're going to greenleaf it with your flyers. You're going to go into the businesses and leave business cards. You're going to put vending machines in there. You're going to knock doors. I have an agent in Altoona who did 7 million last year. And a lot of it was 70% of his business was knocking doors. 70% of his business was knocking doors. It works, okay? If it's not your bag, then leverage another way to do it. But become an expert in that area. One way to do that is reverse prospecting. So you can go in your courthouse data, look for houses that have been owned for at least 4 years or more, right? Gather that information, mine that data, plug it into RPR, create a seller's report, CMA, go down through the whole gambit. There's one extra tool on there that you can generate mailing labels, right? So
Like the click of one button.
yeah, you literally can pull the district or the area you want to mine or farm, and then plug in and click on the mailing labels, and it gives you the mailing labels you can print out. You can get cards on you can go Vistaprint, you can get cards and design them yourself.
MLS
Red
Mailings
Store.
is a good one that does postcards. I just feel like, and we've talked about this too, I think that I just want to back up here a
Yeah,
second,
yeah.
because I feel like with new agents in particular, your first leg of your stool, your first funnel should be your sphere. If you haven't put together a letter that is, either, typed out and then hand signed that you're mailing out to your sphere or emailing that sphere directly, there's some really great online resources for how to build. Well, that's the other part, is start building your database in Command, making sure you're sitting at your phone, download a spreadsheet of all of your phone contacts, put all of those people in Command, and then systematically, figure out, how am I going to reach out to them? Is this somebody I would have coffee with? For sure. Or is this somebody I have dinner with on a regular basis? Or is this my kid's soccer coach or whatever? You're mining all that data and you're going to reach out to your sphere first. Typically, statistically, you're going to have a buyer client first, because they're just happy you're opening a door for them. And they just want to know, like, and trust you. It's not so much how much experience do you have usually. But you really want to mine into that first, and then use the free options. I think as you're building, is to stay as lean as you can, because it's going to be tough making money at first, like typically however long it takes. It's what it takes. But you want to run lean in terms of your expenses. So mailing can be kind of pricey, but get your Facebook business page, get your Instagram business page, get your Google business page. They're all free. And there's resources here at the office to help you build those things. So I just encourage you to run lean so that you can last longer. The shift is not just about shifting your perspective. It's also about running lean, watching your expenses, and being able to stay in the business that you're in.
That's how you survive, is building your business model, your wealth model, so that it sustains. Who remembers when we talked about sphere of influence? Who remembers?
I was just about to be like, okay, I know sphere is a circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sphere of
But
influence. We talked sphere of influence, I think week 1, and creating the conversation. In sphere of influence, statistically speaking, if you work your sphere, build your database around your sphere of influence, you should be able to generate, do you remember how many leads per person in your sphere? Do you remember?
3.
3, exactly.
And sphere is friends, family,
Yep.
people who
Any
you have a
kind of
connection with.
acquaintance. But I think I've always defined it as somebody that I've actually spoken to,
Yep.
right? So it could be
Not a Facebook
a
friend.
neighbor. No, it's not
Yeah.
like a random person. Now that's something you would do, like more
Digital.
strategic targeting or whatever. But your sphere is people that you know, that already know you, that like you. That's absolutely who your first client's usually going to be.
Yeah, friends, family, significant others, friends and family, significant others, co-workers, your peers are also your sphere. Remember, creating the conversation is not just about creating conversation with potential buyers and sellers. We want to create conversation and network with the members of our industry. Last week, team leaders and OPs, we were tasked 3 different times and with 20 minutes to go and make contact calls. We had to first contact our agents that were in our market center. We had to contact those within our universe as far as our business, meaning, vendors such as Fawna. And then we had to go and we had to contact market share agents that were not part of our brokerage. We had 20 minutes to do that each time. We set 6,000 appointments in less than 3 hours as a group. Okay. Cold call. Now, some were cold calling. I'll let you on a little secret. I wasn't cold calling. I called the agents that I called in my market were agents that I had worked with on a deal over the last year. Okay. That's who I called. Vendors are vendors that I called. Vendors were vendors that I had done business with already, but maybe only once or twice. Maybe not my repeaters, but vendors that I've done business with maybe once or twice that I want to do more business with. I called them, set up an appointment. Okay. Why is it important to do that? Why is it important to have open communication and continual like touches on people within our business, vendors, affiliates?
Oh my gosh, because they're just like, they're like your foundation. They're gonna pull you out of the capper when something goes sideways. They really do. It's the hardest part. I think one of the hard parts of building your business is developing that network of people, whether it's contractors or your lender or whatever. But like I've had lenders that have had my back, and when something's gone south, they've picked up the phone and called the other agent for me and said, look, you're not doing this right. Like, this is what you need to do. And when someone's got your back like that, you just feel like I'm building a business, you know? So, you know, the Fawna being here, and then the company that was the title company that's here, like those are just people that you'll learn who to trust, and they will show you how they work. Is it working out? You give them one shot and you move on if they don't work, because it's your business, it's your reputation on the line. So yeah, there's like it's lenders, contractors, insurers, title companies, what else, Ally? Other realtors, you know, like other realtors is a big one. Other brokers, you know, you build relationships with other agents and
Advertisers.
Yeah, advertisers.
Contractors.
Yeah, the
Contractors,
contractors.
plumbers,
Huge,
home
huge.
inspectors.
Home inspectors.
Plumbers for dye tests. Like I'm on a first name basis with the dye test people at Churchill Borough, you know, like I called occupancy. I'm like, hey, again.
Listen, they're gonna drop your name.
Yeah.
They are. They are. If they're at a Christmas party and their cousin's sister, brother's dog comes up and says, I'm looking for a new house. Not that a dog will buy a house.
I was
Right.
in
We're
a
gonna drop
call,
your name.
I think we're running out of time,
Yeah.
but quickly, a cool script. Jennifer's maps coach from back when I was in coaching with Jennifer had a cool script, and I really loved it. And she was like, I have my preferred vendors. Like I have one roofer that I use, for example, and she sat down with her roofer and said, listen, I will refer you exclusively. And when I do that, I'm putting my name behind that and my business and how I do business. And so that's how I expect you to do business. Treat them the way that I treat them, you know, with that comes a particular service. And furthermore, then you in return say to my client when they call you, oh, you're working with so-and-so, that's so fantastic. She's such a great agent. And you refer them back to me, although they're already my client, like refer them back to me and then refer me out. And I was like, whoa, like we shouldn't be afraid to ask our vendors for business. We're giving them business all of the time.
Right.
Because of the abbreviated time that we had, I just wanted to kind of get your tuning forks warmed up for Thursday's workshop and start brainstorming what areas you feel you could keep your budget lean, but be effective and impactful with your lead gen. And be ready to take notes and get some more ideas on Thursday, because there are so many opportunities out there to generate leads. Some of you I've already talked with one-on-one about some of these opportunities, and you guys are doing great with them. So keep up that mindset, keep up that direction. Forward momentum is everything. All right. We're gonna I'm gonna step aside. Let Chris Keller's here for tech training. So we're gonna get started with her. Hopefully you guys can stick around, because this is the piece that's going to be valuable to how you leverage going forward, specifically building your database, turning them into opportunities like we discussed, and then going from there and enhancing, building campaigns and smart plans. Leveraging a lean budget using command.